Deseret News Rewind is presented by Highland and Associates. Call them now for a free consultation, 801-754-4240, or go to utah.law. Welcome in Deseret News Rewind. Dusty Litster, Dane, Stewart as always, presented by Highland and Associates and brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard.
Yeah, and Dusty, I'm not a lawyer. I have no idea figuring out all the legalities of stuff. So if I need help, I'm going to call Highland and Associates. They're a full-service law firm. If you're interested in business, you got some business legality to work out, or you got some patents or all sorts of crazy stuff out there, right? Full-service law firm to help you out. You can learn more. Visit utah.law. Or you can give them a call at 801-754-4240.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Justin Heideman, a big supporter of what we do here on Deseret News Rewind. We really want to thank Heideman Associates, one of our new sponsors here, but also the Utah Army National Guard as well. All right, let's jump right into this. What a crazy week 6. And we thought we'd learn a lot about teams. We say this every week, but it's really what it is because we're getting deeper into region play. But not only that, the deeper we get into these seasons, some of the tougher schedules we finally get to see on teams. We want to get a better feel for where they are, and that was certainly what we saw at Fremont and Woods Cross.
Yeah, I mean, Farmington and Woods Cross. But, no, I mean...
It's a new school. Yeah, I've been banging that bell for a while.
I mean, you think about it, number 1 seed on the line tonight. Just joking. I mean, you look at this. These two teams came in 1-0 in region play. Woods Cross was undefeated. Farmington just the lone loss to Lone Peak. And, I mean, early on, Farmington has the first touchdown of the ball game. All right, good to know. Woods Cross, I mean, they came in that first quarter. They were ready to go. And really good drive. Luke Hyde has a big third down conversion down the field. He'd finish it off with a 7-yard run. We're tied up. How about late in that first quarter? Woods Cross with another drive. Beautiful throw here. Weirman to Freestone. Made it 14-7. Things just clicking for Woods Cross. Start of the second quarter. Oh, man, a fumble. And Farmington able to hop on it. And then the Phoenix just started a-roaring, Dusty. It would be Toon, a 1-yard run to tie things up. Still in the second quarter. How about Evertson to Quinton? A 9-yard touchdown pass. Farmington back in the lead. And then late in the half, Evertson to Quinton again. A 30-yard touchdown. It's 28-14. Okay, second half. Clear the mechanism, right? Woods Cross, they got an opportunity to get... Nope, ain't gonna happen. That Farmington defense was solid. How about 2 fourth-down stops for the Farmington defense? 4th and 7, 4th and 3. They come up with 2 big ones, but that offense kept on moving. Evertson, a 1-yard touchdown run in the third, made it 34-14. And then how about Evertson to Hayden, the exclamation mark, 41-14. Woods Cross would add a late touchdown in this ballgame, but it did not matter. Ever since that fumble early in the second quarter, the Woods Cross offense was out of sync. The Farmington defense got after him. This Farmington team, folks, look out. They had a complete effort tonight. And Evertson, preparing for that game is like, it'll be interesting to see him play. Boy, when they can protect him, he's as good as there is. I mean, they absolutely dissected a really good Woods Cross team. And the Woods Cross front did not get any pressure on him at all. Evertson was fantastic. Very balanced effort tonight. All-around complete game from Farmington. And with a Bonneville loss, there's one undefeated team left in Region 5. It's the Farmington Phoenix.
Well, Dan Coates done such a terrific job.
Fantastic.
A couple weeks ago, talking to some people, like, hey, what's one of the things that haven't been talked about enough? And as I talked about it, so I was frustrated. I said Fremont instead of Farmington. Because I've been talking about it. Dan Coates and what he's done and what he is doing at Farmington here in year 2.
Yeah.
Good grief. I mean, they're looking so good.
Well, and, we've talked about Luke Hyde for Woods Cross, and not a lot of teams can stop him. And he got on track early. But I'll tell you what, Parker Frazier did a really nice job in coverage on the back end for Farmington, took away a lot of those deep routes, also came up in run support. And then, another guy we got to talk about is Breen Wilson. And what an effort from him tonight. Up front, he was a terror, especially as this game went on, created a lot of issues for that Woods Cross offensive line. Farmington, look out, folks. We got a front runner in Region 5.
Absolutely. Well, let's get to the opening argument brought to you by Heideman and Associates. To get a free consultation, go to utah.law. Well, a lot of RPI talk this week. Yep. How good was the RPI? How accurate is the RPI? Let's start with some of the top ones, shall we? Number 1 is 6A, Corner Canyon. Any questions?
Nope.
No. And it's all parts in between it. And we're going to get to this one. The Harriman Mustangs, watch out for that one later, because I know all Harriman fans want to say, oh, here they go.
Yep.
The Harriman Mustangs. But right now, the question I've got is Bingham. Is Bingham going to be Bingham at all this year?
That's a loaded question. I think there's some work to do for Bingham. And, I mean, you look at that Harriman game, and, Maine went down with the injury. Man, our best thoughts and wishes out to Bingham Nation. That was an ugly, ugly injury. Best of wishes. Hope you get back and good. Not even just on football, but that just get healthy.
Right.
Get healthy. But, I mean, you look at this team up front, Dusty, they really struggled blocking against Harriman. They weren't able to run the ball very well. I mean, it just did not look like the Bingham of yore, right? And it all starts in the trenches for the Bingham Miners. And I think up front, saw offensive line where it's not – got to choose my words carefully. When you see a Bingham offensive line, the last couple of years, there are many games where it's like, oh, they're outsized. But the technique is where they really win up front. And just didn't quite see that in the game against Harriman. There's some work to be done. I was talking with someone on the sideline, they're like, where are the Attas and the Longies? And that's a proud history of linebackers at Bingham. And, they just don't have the depth there right now. And so there's a lot of work to be done. It's a young squad. They're going to get better as the season goes on. And in years, I think you'll see them get back to competing top of region, top of state. But this year, it might be a long year for the blue and white.
Yeah, it's the hard part, right? Because I don't even want an argument. It's when you watch Bingham, it's like, man, is that Bingham? It just looks different, right? And they're young with different things. You usually have that one just that running back. You look at Smith, or you look at Longies, or you look at whoever's been back there, Whistler, or whoever, and you're like, yeah, okay, they're good. Yeah. And they might have 2, 3 guys, and right now it just does not feel like Bingham. And I think it's a shocker. That's the biggest thing.
I mean, the other thing is their best offensive lineman is out, was hurt, did not play, hurt a week ago. Their tight end hurt. I think this is a junior. He's got Pac-12 looking at him. So they do have some injuries that I think are showing, their head a little bit. The depth isn't quite there, and so when a guy goes down, you've got a big gap.
Right.
So there's a lot of factors here for the Miners that are just kind of avalanching on them a little bit.
I mean, really big, but we've got a lot of season left.
Yeah. Yep.
But you never count them out.
Here's the thing. I think they're still good enough to make the playoffs. Hey-o!
Well, they got East this week. Another measuring stick moment for Bingham, and it'll be very, very interesting. All right, your best is 6-8.
Well, Dusty, how about we start with a doozy of a ball game? I am Mr. Region 2, right? How about Hunter and West? West was a region contender, and dropping in a region game earlier, they had to win this ball game. Hunter, meanwhile, Deshaun Cash, boy, what a year he has had. How about Cash? 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. But this was a tie ball game late. Hunter able to march down. It was Tupea, the go-ahead touchdown, Dusty, with 11 seconds left. And Hunter, they're going to eke it. Wait, what? How about Clarence Butler? Bird, a 95-yard kickoff return to close the game out. West, they're going to go for 2, try to win this puppy. The Hunter D makes a stop, 39-38. Wolverines, folks. We got a big showdown coming up this week against Kearns.
Hey, anytime you do something you've never done, got to be on here. And we just talked about one part of that game.
Yeah.
How about the Harriman Mustangs?
Hey.
One of the 2 of us picked Harriman to win that game. And it was that. I'll get my shot in a moment. But, hey, whenever that happens, I'll take my comeuppance. Yeah. Jess Gomez already hit me up on Twitter. Want to know if I'm a believer? I'm a believer. I tell you what I saw from Harriman was not what I saw when I watched that Corner Canyon game.
Yeah.
When you saw that Corner Canyon game, it was like, whoa, Nelly, to take the words from Keith Jackson. And when you watch this game, it caused problems with Bingham. They were in the backfield against Bingham. They turnovers, took advantage of it. But what I saw was a vertical passing game. And that was what Jackson James throwing the ball deep down the field. You had a top 5 play in this game. Fasisi Peyu was terrific as well. So this team, right now, with Fafita as well and running back, this is looking much more like the end of the year we've seen from Dustin Pierce. That year they ran their way to the state championship. Right now, hit mid-season form a little early than they normally have in the last few years, and that's a good thing because they got East coming up here pretty soon. A chance if they win the East game, they're gonna have a chance to get a first round bye.
I'll give you another stud to watch for Harriman. How about Monacula?
Oh, absolutely.
That dude was all over the place, and I was watching that with a good friend. He was like, man, he's just unblockable right now, and he dominated up front for the Harriman Mustangs. They've got talent at a lot of levels, do the Mustangs.
All right, your best of 5A.
Well, let me bring it up. How about, this was a big region game, Dusty, and, I kind of picked a side a while ago, and I think I flip-flopped on it last week. How about the Olympus Titans, huh? Getting a 24-6 win over Highland, and it wasn't Scotty Edwards, wasn't Frankie Goodson. It was Chase Hopkins, 3 rushing touchdowns. How many running backs can you have if you're Olympus, huh? But how about the defense forced 2 turnovers off of Highland? Remember Highland, they were scoring loads and bunches early on in the year. We thought that they'd be able to maintain that. Have not the last couple of weeks. A pair of disappointing losses for the Rams. But the Olympus Titans stamp Region 6. This is still our region. Big win over Highland.
Yeah, it was impressive, but watched a lot of that game on Deseret News Rewind Live. I want to make sure you watch that, too, because we have it every week. How about this one? Wasatch and Maple Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
Wasatch kind of been up and down. See where this goes. Here they are in region play. Main reason this one, it was a close game. 24-21 win for the Wasps. Zach Thacker rushed for 2 touchdowns. Parker Quinton recorded a touchdown of his own as Wasatch able to hang on. I tell you what, Maple Mountain's pretty scrappy. Jensen can throw the football. You got a kid that can absolutely do that, and Wasatch able to hang on to get that win. 24-21, good win for Coach Coburn and the Wasps, who are now 2-0 in Region 8.
Good one.
Best of the race.
Well, Dusty, I started a movement about 1.5 years ago. This isn't about me. This is about a young man who all he does is just does this. Of course, he throws something in a little better form than that, but how about Bryson Barnes?
Bring him
We've
in the
got
studio.
a new record holder. Hats off to you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Beaver shut him down last week. We said he'd respond. He responded well. I think it was 3 passing touchdowns and a win over Enterprise, and he is your new state record holder for most career passing touchdowns. Bryson, congratulations, young man. And been fun to be able to watch that for the last year. We were a little later to the party, but earlier than most, even at that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's deserving of some pizza. I got to go out and get some pizza with my good buddy Bryson Barnes. Right?
Eddie, congratulations. The cherry on the top was that he had a preferred walk-on offer this week.
He did.
Utah.
Yes. So, congratulations on that.
I'm sure more will come. More opportunities will be there as he continues to put it out there. You got to get that film out. Guys got to see what you're doing. Yeah. You start accumulating stuff, and good things start happening. Yep. Congratulations to Bryson Barnes. How about one of the best games? I'm not going to say the best game and all the rest because there was one really, really good as well, but I got to see this one. And I love doing this. Last year, we talked about Beaver. Delta. But anytime I get a chance to win something over the Wabbits, I do that. Delta up 18-14, closing moments of the game. The Manti Templars go the length of the field.
Remember, they're the number 1 team according to the RPI.
And they got everything on there. The Templars, the Knights, they got to take care of the building, right?
This is like an old school battle.
8 seconds left. Throw the back corner of the end zone. Travis Thompson jumps up, pulls that thing down the back of the corner end zone with 3 seconds after that ball in the air. And the Manti Templars remain, well, we'll see. Remain number 1 in the 3A poll. Congratulations to Manti. Now I know what it's like to go to Delta and win. No, I don't. It was a JV game, but still, get a win at Delta. That's a good one. Even if the wind shifts and you start smelling that dairy farm. Congratulations to Manti, staying on being getting that win.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the quick hits brought to you by the Utah Army and National Guard.
Well, I mean, how about we stay in a lower classification, right? And the Buckaroos, boy, they got bucked. Yeah. How about Duchesne, right? I mean, people have talked a little bit about, hey, Duchesne hasn't won a state title in, 2 years or whatever it is, and they must be
Tradition
down.
Tradition has ended.
Yeah, they ain't down anymore. How about 62 to nothing over Monticello? How about 9 rushing touchdowns?
9 times?
9 times.
Ran it 9 times?
9 times.
I don't remember there being 9 times.
9 times. And that ain't changing in no database either.
That's a good one. Yeah. But that's a great start. Here's one out of the others as well. And it's one of my favorite regions to talk about, Region 9. How about Desert Hills and Cedar City? All Cedar City does is play close games, folks. They go to double overtime, 56-55. The Thunder get the win, and it was Golding caught a pass from Wilstead to get Desert Hills to score, and then Cedar City gets the Touchdown run from Jaron Garrett, not the redheaded coach of the Cowboys, but Jaron Garrett. Cedar City, the Redmen go for 2 and the win, and don't get it. And Desert Hills, you have 56-55 win in Region 9.
We almost had an upset in 2A. The number 1 team in our release of RPI was Millard, and it was Parowan taking them to double overtime. But the Millard defense comes up with a big stop on a 2-point conversion, 34-33. The Eagles sneak by the Rams.
How about this one? Watch this one. Logan, Bear River. Logan was up in this game 14-10.
Yep.
The rain was all over in Cache Valley. It made its way to Bear River, and it was pouring. And then Bear River, they weren't a snoring. They go get the win. It was Corbin Kierstead out for a nice drive from Bear River short field. Go get the score inside of a minute left. 17-14. The Bears defended tradition.
They're wearing their black jerseys
Yes,
for
they were.
homecoming. They were. And actually had someone from Bear River reach out, let us know it was Josh Payne.
Oh, Josh
with
Payne.
the 3-yard touchdown. That was notated incorrectly. So, Josh, congrats.
Yeah.
How about Fremont and Syracuse?
Yes.
Boy, statement. We talked a little bit about Fremont. Big win this week. They were up 24-7 at half. They were able to fend off a feisty Syracuse team to get that win. But it was Jackson Whitney with 3 touchdowns for the Silver Wolves as Fremont getting back to the winning ways.
You know, American Fork, we started saying, hey, how good does this team look at them? They're going right along. Well, they kick up against Harriman. They were up 14-7 on Skyridge. Like, all right, all's well in the world. Well, 4 straight Skyridge touchdowns later. How about this? Braden Buck, Emmett called from 4 yards out. Emmett called from 23 yards out. And they call hitting Ethan Lewis 15 yards out. And then it was night-night. Deer Caveman. At home. And I tell you what, their new field's in. They haven't played at home. It's their first game on the new turf. And it just did not go the way they wanted to. Emmett Call was absolutely spectacular in that ball game. Congratulations for Skyridge.
How about Springville, Dusty? Look, one-sided, 49-0 over Payson. That's not really the highlight here. How about Murphy to Mortensen 4 times in that ball game? Dial it up 4 times for touchdowns. Springville with a really strong region win.
Park City beat Stansbury. Big one.
Yeah,
We talked about that one last week going into this week. And
Yep.
Park City getting a 38-14 win. And Mark McCurdy scored on touchdowns of 48 and 92 yards for the win for the Miners. They've been coming up against Mountain View this week.
You know, we had another Game of the Week finalist last week. How'd that game turn out, Lehigh Provo? Woo! The Pioneers, huh? Cooper had 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. Manukin had 1. 35-14. Provo struggles at Lehigh.
Yeah, tough one. Out of
Yeah,
region, but a
yeah.
good one for... Now, Cooper's got another non-region game coming up against a team from Provo.
That's right.
All right. Got them all?
Yes.
All right, I'm full too. All right, let's go to our final statement. Okay, new segment here brought to you by Heidemann and Associates. Go to utah.law. Full-service law firm there to take care of you. Offices in Provo and in St. George. All this Region 9 love, go to that St. George office. Go talk to Heidemann and Associates. All right, we teased it earlier. Is Harriman who we think they are?
Well,
Or the number 2 team in RPI?
I was going to say, you tell me what you think they are.
Okay, right now, the state tells you they're
Yeah.
number 2 in 6A in the RPI.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so let me rephrase it. Do you think Harriman is a contender at Rice Cycle Stadium?
Yes.
They get there.
I think Harriman is probably the number 3 or 4 team. I would put Lone Peak ahead of them. And then to me, it becomes very even very quickly. I mean, maybe Skyridge, but I think Skyridge Harriman, that'd actually be a really fun
That would be
ball
a
game to
blast.
watch. But I think you're seeing Harriman, you know, there's something we haven't talked about in terms of what we saw Harriman against Bingham. You know what we didn't see? James had a couple of touchdowns. One was kind of a heave-ho late, or a couple of interceptions. I apologize. But we haven't seen a lot of penalties, senseless penalties. They played a really disciplined ball game against Bingham. I think you're seeing that program take that next step. And, you know, first time beating Bingham, you talked about that. They had never beaten them
7
before.
times, yeah.
What kind of confidence does that give this group where they finally get over that hump? I think it's going to be really interesting to watch. Now, they got a big game against East. You can say kind of the same thing, right? Like they got to go through the Leopards in order to win that region. But the more they win, the more confidence they get. I think the more dangerous this team becomes. They've got all the pieces to put together a deep run in the playoffs. I don't know if I would rank them number 2, but certainly 3. I mean, no lower than 4. I think that's as big of a win as you can post right now. It was a dominative performance.
I got hit up on Twitter asking if I was a believer. I'm a believer, and I agree with you. I got them number 3, but this team is that good.
Yeah,
they are absolutely. If you really want to think, hey, we're gonna get our second state championship, here's a year to go get it.
Yeah,
here's your absolute chance, and you got a chance to do what they did then. They got shut out by Lone Peak, played them in the championship game, and beat them. Yeah. You're gonna have your chance. But is Harriman that good right now? I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The way they're playing right now, something happened at halftime against AF, and they sprinkled that in the second half. Did it? They've done it for 6 quarters. They get full Morgan Cease, and you really start setting the precedence for what they are. Hit us up on Twitter. You got thoughts, games we missed, performances we missed, and your thoughts on our opening statement, our closing argument. Love to hear from you.
Yeah.
At D News Rewind, at Dane_Stewart, at Dusty Litster. Love to hear from you. Go check out the rest of our videos and check out Deseret News Rewind Live for Vince Francis and Dane Stewart. I am Dusty Litster. Thanks for joining us and watching Deseret News Rewind presented by Heidemann and Associates.